Hello, I'm OTM Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. I like when you guys share. I start off every live stream the exact same way, and I let everyone know that I lean to the right. And the reason I do that is so that there is no deception or no perception of deception. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm middle, down the road, or even on the left. I absolutely don't want you to think I'm on the left. So what ends up happening is what happened in the election, what happened in the first debate, what happened in the Kamala debate, where you have a large audience watching something and then realizing after the fact that they were lied to. Right now, the media is going crazy trying to do an autopsy on the Kamala campaign, Kamala, on their campaign. And it's hilarious. I'm going to talk about that Wednesday. What's going on, beautiful one? Phoenix Rising, huh? How are you? How are you? Mike Levin, how you doing, sir? Welcome back. Welcome back. Wednesday is going to be a good one. I'm going to go over Candace Owens had an appearance on a show and it was really good. I'm going to go over that, and I want to go over how the media is just really, 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 really falling apart. But today's topic is leftist teachers rage over Trump as he reveals his spending reduction plans. And this is really, 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 you're going to be annoyed. You guys know I like to annoy you, but when I show you these teachers, it's going to be, yeah, there's going to be steam coming out your ears. Because well, I'm not even going to go into that right now. As you guys, my audience knows, and if anybody's new, I'm going to let you know this country is $35 trillion in debt, and the interest is at over 20%. And I have a video that's going to go over that. It's not me going over it, but Elon Musk is going to go over that. And they've been speaking for at least 20 years. I know Bill Clinton did really good with the budget. So at least since 2000, they've been talking about getting this debt under control, and all it's done is grow. And it's really, really, really frustrating. Let me open this up. Sorry. It's really frustrating because it's always the same thing. They both sides will run on it. The left really doesn't run on it. They just talk about it, especially in Congress. They just talk about it. The right will run on it, and then when they have control, they do absolutely nothing about it. And it's really, 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 really frustrating. And we're coming to the end of the year. And at the end of September, this happens every year. Once I say this, if you didn't know about it, you're gonna remember this happening, and you're gonna see it come next month as well. But in September, the Congress passed a thing called a continuing resolution. And what the continuing resolution is kicking the can down the road on spending bills. And because the left and the right can't come to any agreement, every single year in September, September 20 something, they pass a bill that will extend their time to create a spending bill until the end of December, right before Christmas. And then what happens at Christmas time is they do another one, which will get them till next year to create a budget, which is literally their responsibility. Congress has two jobs: control the purse, which is spending, and write laws. That's it. And for some reason, they can't do 50% of that. They can write laws all day long. I mean, that's what they love to do. But when it comes to actually creating a budget and making the country functional, they're horrible at it. So September to December is a continuing resolution. They're going to do another one in December so that they can go on Christmas break. And then when they get back, both sides are going to argue over who's responsible for the parks shutting down and military not getting paid and federal employees not getting paid. This happens every single year. It's going to happen again because they already pushed it up to December 20 something. It's so frustrating. But you guys know what a fiscal year is? A fiscal year is something that a business tracks from the beginning of their year to the end of their year. The government runs from October 1st to the end of September the following year. And that's where they can gauge, okay, we're up or we're down on spending, or all of the tracking that they do, all the statistics that they do are typically fiscal year to fiscal year. Some companies use January 1 through December 31st. Some companies use February. Some go even from March to March. It really depends on the business, but the government operates from October 1 to September 31st the following year. And what's going to happen is what I said, and then they're going to create a huge bill called an omnibus bill. And what that is a huge concoction of, I almost cursed, of trash. And what they're going to do is they're going to say, we have to pass this bill, because if we don't pass this bill, the parks are going to close, military won't get paid, the military won't be funded. That's what the right's going to say. And then the left is going to say, you're going to lose, you're not going to get your government checks, you're not going to get your welfare checks, you're not going to get your Social Security. And everybody's going to freak out, and everyone's going to get mad at Congress. And this is why Congress always has the lowest approval ratings. But what they're going to do is they're going to go to their lobbyists, and they're going to take everything that their lobbyists say, and they're going to stuff it into the bill, and it's called pork. And nobody's going to read the bill. It's going to be well over 1,000 pages, maybe close to 2,000 pages. No one's going to read it. They're going to pass it, and we're going to move on as if nothing happened. And they're all going to pat themselves on the back and expect us to thank them for spending more and more and more and not working on what they're supposed to do. This is just what they do. So I have a video today because Donald Trump is going to fix this. And this is incredible. If he can do a third, if he could do a quarter of what he's proposing, it is going to be absolutely incredible what we see out of our government. So I want to start out with a video. Beautiful. You knew what I was looking at. You knew I got an alert. Ma'am, as always, I appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you, as always. I am humbled. I didn't even have my banner up. Let me put my banner up. Yeah, I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you so much for supporting this page. You are the stream sponsor, of course. Save that. Throw that. Thank you. All right. You're going to be angry at me by the end of this one when I start going over the teachers, but for now, I'll take that. Thank you so much for the Cash App. And if you guys would like to become a stream or a stream sponsor, that's what we're doing. It's something what Lead Attorney does, where if you donate, I will absolutely thank you, because nothing's more humbling than people coming out of their pocket over my words and feeling it. Feeling appreciative enough to pay me to talk. That's amazing. That's incredible, and it is extremely humbling. So I will put you on the banner on the bottom, thanking you, and I will absolutely put that money right back into this channel. And hopefully, you guys are noticing a lot of production changes, because I really have invested into this thing. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. So I'm going to play this video, and you won't be annoyed at first, but once we go into the actual teachers thing, you're going to be annoyed. I promise you. And I apologize in advance. Really, I do. It's necessary information. Let's go. Here we go.
Create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, that'd be a good one to do it.
All right, so he ran on this, but he's already implementing it. And this is absolutely incredible, because he found the most efficient human being on Earth, and he has to be, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and Elon Musk is pioneering electric vehicles. He is pioneering internet access. He is literally working on creating internet access to your brain so that when you think of something, your brain will immediately have high-speed internet access to it, which is scary, terrifying. But this is what this guy does. This is how brilliant this human being is. He's also just so happens to be working on travel to Mars. And you have to be extremely efficient to be able to do all these things. You're juggling extremely complex, not even issues. He's pioneering these things. So he's creating. Yeah, I agree, Phoenix Rising. But this is what he's doing. So what he's trying to do is do it first, because it's coming, and there's nothing stopping it. So he's created a thing called Neuralink, which I believe is going to have something to do with his Starlink, and it's scary, but it is what it is. This is where we're going. And yes, Mike, I don't know. No, he can't do an executive order to stop the bill bundles and have them voting a line by line, single issue bills. They have to do that. That's their job. No, all he can do is pressure Congress, since he's going to have Congress now, to pass these things. And he's working on some crazy stuff. I don't have it all here today, but Wednesday I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff, and that's one of them. But he hired Elon before he's even in office. He's not even in office till the end of January. And Elon Musk is working on it, and this is what Elon Musk has to say.
We do have a fundamental issue, which is that the government is spending far more than it brings in. And the reality is that all government spending is actually taxation. All government spending is taxation. Sometimes people think some of it is taxation and some of it's not, but it's all taxation, because the part that is not covered by tax revenue becomes inflation. So you're either taxed directly or you're taxed by inflation, but you're for sure taxed. and so all government spending is taxation. So we have to reduce government spending overall. Like this will be forced upon us in the future, because already just the interest payments on the debt are 23% of all federal tax revenue. Just the interest payments. The interest payments now exceed the Defense Department budget, which is $1 trillion a year. That's a lot of money. So just the interest on the debt exceeds what we spend on the military. Just the interest. And that is rising rapidly. So it can't be like, we'll trim a little bit here and there. That's not going to work. There have to be quite radical reductions in cost. So
they put him in charge. Yeah, I know. How crazy is that, beautiful one? That's insane. Over $1 trillion is just the interest for our national debt. It's scary, it's insane, it's sad, and worst of all, it was preventable. But our government just can't get it together. What's going on, Kevin Ware? How you doing? So Donald Trump put out a whole bunch of videos of things that he wants to implement. I'm just highlighting two of the things. What's going on, Biz, sir? What's going on? We're talking finance right now. I just played Elon Musk talking about government efficiency and how our national debt, the interest on our national debt, is over $1 trillion. That's insanity. So let's listen more to what Trump's planning on doing and how it's going to impact this country and your pockets, and the globe, actually. Oh, actually, no. Before I even get there, this is so amazing. Elon Musk recruited Ron Paul to help him on this committee, and Ron Paul accepted. And if you don't know who Ron Paul is, he is like the godfather of libertarianism, and reducing government and reducing government spending. So Ron Paul is a perfect person to help Elon Musk implement this. And we saw Elon Musk do this to Twitter when he bought it. He wiped out, I think, over 70% of his staff, and nothing changed at Twitter. It's actually running better now. Once they got rid of all the algorithm issues, they got rid of 75% of staff, I believe. This is what every conservative has claimed that they've wanted for decades. literally decades. And Donald Trump is the one who is now ready to implement it, of all people. And what's really weird, sidebar, is these so-called conservatives are still skeptical. He doesn't have to be doing this now. He ran, he won, and he's still doing this. He doesn't have to, but these so-called conservatives are still skeptical. Isn't it weird that these people who've been calling themselves conservative, fiscal conservative, social conservative, are now almost disappointed, almost depressed? I showed you guys Dan Crenshaw on my last live. He's almost depressed that Trump won, and it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It's confusing because you guys wanted this, and then when you get it, you're complaining, all because of your egos and the fact that Ron DeSantis lost. This is really, really weird, really weird. And I think they're just really more upset that they can't waste more money in Ukraine and launder personal money in Ukraine. But anyway, yeah, Ron Paul and Elon Musk are about to make America the greatest. Not even great again, the greatest in history. It already is, but they're going to improve on that. So now here's Trump.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states.
All right. So I can't express how incredible this is because, again, everyone's been talking about this. Everyone's been talking about this. But Elon Musk is already in his ear clearly because this isn't the only thing that he's doing. He's literally taking agencies out of DC and moving them to other states. He's separating this massive bureaucratic fourth branch of the government. And what's so cool is he's also doing so. If you think about a driver's license, you get a driver's license in California, you can literally drive from there to Maine, and every state will honor your driver's license, right? But driving is a privilege. Now, if you get a concealed carry or any kind of carry license, gun license, you can go from here to Oklahoma and then Oklahoma to another state, and all the laws be different. And they won't reciprocate or they won't honor, we'll say honor. They won't honor your concealed carry weapon or license. So if something happens and you're walking down the street, KB talks about this all the time. You're walking down the street and you have to defend yourself, and your concealed carry is not accepted or reciprocated in that state, you can go to prison. Now, the difference between a driver's license and a gun carry license is the gun license, the right to bear arms is number 2 of all priorities in the Constitution. So why are states in charge of that? It's really, really weird. But a license is a privilege, and they honor it all over the country. And you can kill so many people running them over. We've seen it. I mean, accidents, all of this. For whatever reason, they're willing to allow people to drive across the country with one license. That's it. But with a concealed carry, there are like 15 states that won't honor what I went and earned and I learned the rules of handling firearms, safety, all of these things, where you can have it, where you shouldn't have it, where you can't have it. For whatever reason, the number 2 priority in the entire Constitution as a right is being controlled by states. It shouldn't be. It absolutely should not be. It's really, 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 really weird. Yes, I'll talk, Nikki. How you doing? My constitution works everywhere in the U.S. also. So when it comes to firearms, that should be handled by the federal government, right? But when it comes to abortion, they want that handled at the federal level. It's just really weird what the feds are doing versus the states. For some reason, states are handling immigration. Well, that's a federal thing. The federal government should be handling immigration. When it comes to what else is the federal government doing that they're not supposed to be doing? Abortion was one of them. If you look at the states, there's no reason for a state to ever have to worry about what else? I'm trying to think of something else. What's going on, Taryn? I'm trying to think of something else that our state government is doing that they have no business doing. It's a state issue. I guess gun rights. Those two are good enough. They should be handling. I guess. I don't want to say it like that because it's going to sound like I don't respect the state laws. I really, really do. But they have nothing to do with our right to bear arms. It shall not be infringed. But there are several states all over the country that are infringing on them in different ways, which allows me to not be able to carry my firearm anywhere. And that makes absolutely no sense. So anyway, so these statistics, I'm gonna have to look at this. I'm gonna read this because this is small. All the statistics that you guys are gonna be seeing right now. What's going on, Mel Dub? Are from, let's see, sources. Okay, the Digest of Education Statistics, the National Center for Education Statistics. That's where where this info that I'm about to share comes from. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Let me make this bigger. So, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me get rid of that comment. No. All right. The blue line all the way at the bottom, where it says plus 5%, is students. And let me move this banner because I can't see that. I'll put it back. So from 2000 to 2022, that is the increase in students, the growth in students in our public school system. All right. That green line is the increase in teachers in the public school system. The yellow line are principals and assistants. And then that red line are administrative staff. So when you talk about efficiency, it's really weird to watch how government grows, and we know it does, but seeing it is just it's just the next level. Being like, what? Wait a minute. Wait, why do we need more assistant principals than teachers? Why do we need more principals than teachers? It doesn't add up. There should only be one, maybe two per school. So the growth in teachers would logically be way more important than having administrators and so-called bosses. So the next chart, we're looking at science scores, math scores, reading scores. That's red, green, and purple. Enrollment is the perforated or the dotted line. And then employees are yellow. And then this is going to be all about the costs of running our schools right now. So blue is the overall cost. So these are our scores. All the way at the bottom, you see the red, green, and purple. Those are the results of the public school system right now, since 1970 up until now. But if you look at the yellow line, which again are employees, for some reason, it's grown 100%. We're not getting the results. The results are either flat or worse. And if you look at the total cost, it's off the chart. Off the chart, but again, we're not getting results. So when Trump says, I'm going to give this back to the states, it's because he understands that the federal government, is absolutely atrocious when it comes, atrocious when it comes to running anything effectively and efficiently. There are some things that our federal government can do. This is not one of them. Any kind of bureaucracy is not one of them. Why are they growing in costs without any results? None. Look at enrollment. Enrollment actually dipped for a while, and it's finally back up to an increase since 1970. You guys understand how insane this is? This makes no sense. This makes no sense. Let's see what Mel just said. Black male students systematically rank at the bottom of all these categories, yet they account for the highest number of IEPs. Yep, absolutely. I think you and I talked about it. I believe we talked about that. All right, I think I have one more chart. Let's see. There we go. Mel is going to be furious at this one. Oh, no, wait, I have one more. No, yeah, this is it. All right, I need you guys to look at this. This is going from 1970 to 2018 to 2020. The blue line are teachers' salaries. I need you guys to understand this. Since 1970, teachers' salaries have been stagnant. Why? Why? And then you wonder why the results aren't changing. If you're underpaying teachers, which is blatant, it's never increased. But they've always had a teachers' union. And I'm going to drop the link in a little bit because I want to hear Mel's opinion on these things. Because to me, this makes no sense. Because if you look at the red line, and what is the red line? Let me get rid of this. Hold on. This is so offensive. The red line are the revenues per student since 1970. So, the revenue per student has increased about 160%. But teachers' wages is flat. 1970? 1970? Now, they may have adjusted for inflation, but just, yeah, you can say cost per pupil. It's what they're getting in. Does this seem logical to you when you have a union that's sole job is to protect the interests of the teachers? Does this make any sense to anybody here? When I saw this, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So when Trump announced that, of course, you know me, I immediately went to research. Okay, pros and cons. And this is blatant. These are government numbers. This is their own information. 8%. Inflation is 2% every year. What is this? So, this is the kind of thing, and I know this is just the Chicago Teachers Union, but this is the kind of thing that they're worried about. Instead of maintaining and recruiting young teachers, male teachers, women teachers, all kind of teachers, just recruiting and paying them well. They're more worried about, this is during COVID, of course, sexism, racism, and misogyny if you make the teachers go back to work. Never mind the effects and the impact that it had on our kids. I mean, I don't want to talk about the S word, but self-inflicting unaliving was skyrocketed. Regular self-inflicting stuff skyrocketed. Divorces were happening. Kids were going crazy. They're social creatures. They learn from each other as well as learning from teachers. The impact, we're not going to know the true impact of what these idiots did when they locked this country down, especially when it comes to schools. I mean, social anxiety is an issue when kids first go to school. But when you extend that out and you do it across all grades, that's a problem. So this woman came in to tear down a flag that this teacher thought it was a good idea to have on the wall in a classroom. And this is going to start my teacher videos. This is why I said you guys are about to get annoyed and mad. Sunny Hostin said that she was concerned about the working class and her mother. If she was, this should have been a conversation a long time ago. The left is bought and paid for by the teachers' unions. Teachers, their opinions don't even matter. And I guarantee they collect their dues, and I guarantee their dues have gone up. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I know it is, or I think it is, but the other ones aren't. So this is what I'm just playing right now. This is what I'm just playing right now, because this is absolutely what's happening in schools. So yeah.
Wait, what are you doing? Not. Stop that. I am not paying I am not paying my tax money to support. Get out of this type of now. You like, why do you have this hanging? And why do you have this hanging up? It's part of the students. No, it's not part of anything. That is uncalled for. We are paying you to teach history, and that's what you need to be teaching. Excuse me, this is a public school, little lady. You are excused. You are. Do you see what's on this slide? No. This needs to go exactly where it is, in the garbage. You need to go in the garbage. I'm teaching my son to grow up to be a man. And I don't want you hanging a flag. I'm calling security. Hanging a flag up for you to sit up there and teach them the type of stuff I'm trying to keep them away from.
I told you what would happen. I told you somebody here gonna get mad.
You need to be teaching history. 33, please. No, you need to be teaching history. Shut up. No, I'm not getting out of nowhere. I'm not getting out of nowhere. Hey, no, you don't tell my son to shut up. You talking to me. Your son is failing. My son ain't failing. He needs to be failing because you got a flag hanging up of you over the United States of America.
All right, so yes, I saw that it could have been a skit. It probably is. The point is, this is what we need to do, because unless parents get in those classrooms, we're going to have a disaster. Because if you look at my thumbnail, that is 100% real. So now all the rest of these are going to be their audio. And there's a guy, his name is Corey DeAngelis. If you don't know who he is, you should follow him on Twitter, because he's exposing these teachers, and he's exposing schools, and he's the one who put out all those stats. And what he does is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So what he discovered, and he's kind of like the James O'Keefe of education. That's all I can do. He recruits kids and says, hey, if you guys see something wrong, record it, send it to me, and I'll report it. And that's what he does. So if you are on Twitter, I highly, highly, highly recommend you follow this guy, because some of the stuff that he's exposing it's dangerous. And these recordings are absolutely real. So yeah, the other one, I was going to say that, but Taryn beat me to it. But you guys listen to this, because this is wild. I may have to pull it down because it's just a black screen. Let's see.
This shit is not a fucking game.
Let's see if I can just do this, because it's just a black screen, so there's no reason to have it. Can you guys still hear this if I play it?
Does that make sense, everybody?
Can you guys hear it?
Can't emphasize this enough. Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes!
Can you guys hear that? I don't want to play too much if you can't hear it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back to here and listen to this. This is legitimate.
This shit is not a fucking game. Does that make sense, everybody? Can't emphasize this enough. Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes! Can you end up with no human rights? Yes. Will it happen to you? Most likely not. Which is a good thing. But has Donald Trump quoted Hitler? Yes. Does he embody some of Hitler's ideas? Yes.
Wow.
Donald Trump won because we had low voter turnout. People didn't want to vote. He won because white women didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. He won because black men and brown men didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. Let me tell you, I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mothers rapists. He's called their fathers rapists.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I cut that out. I could have sworn I cut that out. No, he's Mexican American. He'll say it. This is I don't know if he's been fired yet, but I have some information on him.
He's called them criminals. He called them the poison in the blood of our
It's
country.
high school.
They want to vote for him, and they did vote for him. I know a lot of Latino men that wish they were white, and they'll never admit it to you. A lot of your fathers, a lot of your uncles, a lot of your grandfathers. God, they want to be white so bad. They never will be.
Can you imagine sending your kid to school and not knowing that this is happening? And then they come home looking at you some kind of way because this idiot is talking like this about you. Mike, Taryn, Mel, what other man is in here? He's telling kids about their fathers. He's telling high school kids about their fathers. And again, the other one was a skit for more physical, or for so you guys can see it. And I knew you guys wouldn't be able to see this, so staring at my ugly mug for the rest of this live, I didn't want to do that. But this is real, and I'll show you proof that it's real because the school, I think there was a principal and maybe somebody else apologized over this. But this is real. I would be at the school. I would be doing what that lady did, but way worse. Security would have to hold me back because this man is turning children against their own parents. And at the beginning of this, you heard Donald Trump say a lot of these people hate your kids. What else could this be? What else could this be? What else could this man? Why would he be telling kids stuff like this? There's no explanation for this.
Hate that shit. I hate Latino men that oppress the women in their family, their own daughters, and they turn around and vote for men that want to oppress them. I love being Mexican American. I love my community. But God, I fucking hate the patriarchy.
Now he's talking about the girls. Now he's showing that he's compassionate. This is the kind of guy who will take advantage of your daughter. This is the kind of guy right here. He's compassionate. He cares about you more than your own father cares about you. This man, there's got to be charges that he can be brought up on. There has to be charges that he can be brought up on. He cares more about your daughter than you, Taryn. He cares more about your daughter, whether or not you have. Just think about this. Mel, he cares more about your daughter than you. This is the kind of guy who will manipulate a girl, a young girl, into thinking he's a father figure.
If you're a young man right now in front of me, I hope you hate it too. Because it's not hurting you. It's hurting everyone you love.
Everyone you love.
You get the privilege of not being born with uterus, so it doesn't affect you. It's affecting everyone else.
Listen to this.
I'm so fucking sorry, guys.
And why is he even talking like this in school? He's the cool teacher, man. That's who this guy is, cursing in class. Ooh, he's edgy. Complimenting the girls. Oh, you guys have it so hard. Your father doesn't understand, but me. This is what I'm hearing. I don't want to know what his face looks like because that would really set me off. And I have 3 older daughters, and that's all I think about when I hear stuff like this. Like, what is this? What is this end game? Why is he talking like this? Why is he talking like this? Yes, he's the kind of guy who hates Mexican culture of patriarchy, but would walk around with the Mexican flag. And he's the kind of guy who comments in the women's under women's posts saying, "Hey, you're better than dad. You're revealing too much." Like this guy is a snake, an absolute snake, and we see through this kind of stuff. But a high school girl has no idea what this guy's doing. No idea. None. Exactly, Taryn. Dirty Mackin. He's a cool teacher. Yep, exactly. They don't learn anything from in the classroom. They're all going to get passing grades. He's only going to fluctuate a little bit, so it seems realistic. But they think they're learning because he keeps the class interesting and he lectures them. He tells them how bad their family life really is. Did you know what a patriarchy is? It's really, really bad. Matriarchy. Now that's where it is. He's a male feminist, 100%. Listen to this fool.
You deserve better. Look at me.
He's the hero.
You deserve better.
Passionate.
Do you have privilege because you live here? Yes. You're not a 5-year-old black girl in Arkansas who's the only African American in her class and whose great-grandfather was lynched to death during the Civil Rights Movement. You got a fuck ton of privilege.
So now he's shaming males just simply for being. That's what he's doing. He's talking about their privilege. This is outright brainwashing. And if any parent, actually, you shouldn't even have to be a parent to be furious at listening to this. This is real. I'm going to show you guys the actual school that he teaches at. And this is insane. Absolutely insane.
Living in this great state. This election is going to affect billions of people.
Billions.
You're very lucky to be where you're at. Because there is some poor Palestinian boy in Michigan that's going to get beat up today and assaulted and his nose broken. Because
that's oddly specific, isn't it? He's literally painting a picture for these impressionable kids. They're still learning. They're still developing. Their minds are still developing. That's why they're in school. And here he is, literally brainwashing them. Some poor Palestinian kid gonna have his nose broken. They're gonna believe this.
Trump said people that fight for the military are stupid cowards and they're idiots. He got drafted into Vietnam and faked medical paperwork to get out of it. Is that someone you idolize? Calls veterans idiots and uses his daddy's money to get us serving in the military? Why did he win the election? A rapist, draft-dodging coward.
I caught the R word there. I don't know how I missed those first two. I apologize, YouTube. I'm gonna have to go back and get rid of those.
Treasonous scum. Why would he win? Why did he win? He won several key states Kamala lost. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. These key battleground states. Why did he win them? Look. Why did he win them? Why would someone who in Wisconsin would vote for Joe Biden, a geriatric old Republican racist who's running as a Democrat, why would they all of a sudden not vote for Kamala Harris, a young person who has no bad record and who has effective policy for the future? Daria. She has a vagina, if I use a different word. She has a vagina and uterus, and what else? She has melanin.
He called on a student to speak this nonsense. And yeah, Mel, we know that. You don't have to do a disclaimer. But yeah, not all teachers think this ass backwards or sound ignorant and incoherent. We know. But the fact that these people are out there and there's more than one, they need to be rooted out. He called on a student and made him say the reason that Trump won the reason that she did not get elected was because of her vagina. This is a teacher. This man went to school. He's got higher education. They're absolutely Antifa talking points. Absolutely.
She's mixed race.
Mixed race.
I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised. That's because back in July when Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala took over, I cried for a week, nonstop. Because I knew what?
Did you hear what he did? He said he cried for a week. So he's also empathetic. You know what I'm going to play? I'm going to pause this. I want to play something else real quick. Because what you're listening to is what Taryn was talking about. I have a video on it. Where are you? This is an insanity. Insanity. Here we go.
We have religion, we have education, we have social life, we have power structure, we have labor relations, unions, and finally we have law and order. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? These are the areas of application of subversion. What it means exactly. In case of religion, destroy it, ridicule it, replace it with various sects, cults, which bring people's attention, faith, whether it is naive, primitive, doesn't really matter. As long as the basically accepted religious dogma is being slowly eroded.
So these are the tenets of Marxism. So the first thing he said, obviously, is you have to get rid of religion. You have to any way you do it, you have to diminish it and get rid of it.
And taken away from the supreme purpose of religion, to keep people in touch with the supreme being. That serves the purpose. Therefore, replace accepted, respected religious organizations with fake organizations. Distract people's attention from the real faith and attract them to various different faiths. Education. Distract them from learning something which is constructive, pragmatic, efficient. Instead of mathematics, physics, foreign languages, chemistry, teach them history of urban warfare, natural food, home economy, your sexuality, anything, as long as it takes you away. Okay? Social life. Replace traditionally established institutions and organizations with fake organizations.
Black Lives Matter. Antifa, that's not an organization, that's an idea.
Take away the initiative from people. Take away the responsibility from naturally established links between individuals, group of individuals, and society at large, and replace them with artificially, bureaucratically controlled bodies. Instead of social life and friendship between neighbors, establish social workers institutions. People who are on payroll of whom? Society? No. Bureaucracy. The main concern of social workers is not your family, not you, not social relations between groups of people. The main concern is to get the paycheck from the government. What will be the result of their social work doesn't really matter. They can develop all kind of concepts to show to the government and to the people that they're useful. Okay, away from the natural links, power structure. Okay, the natural bodies of administration, which are traditionally either elected by people at large or appointed by elected leaders of society, are being actively substituted by artificial bodies. The bodies of people, groups of people whom nobody elected.
Who was running this country the last 4 years? So when Trump he's coming and he's getting rid of the bureaucrats, and this bureaucratic class are unelected, but they stay in office from administration to administration to administration, and they've been fighting Trump. So he didn't create. He did an executive order when he first was in office, and they fought it tooth and nail because they were trying to figure out, and I talked about this on a couple lives ago. They were trying to figure out who an officer of the state is and who isn't, because he wants to be able to just fire anyone he wants who works in the executive branch, and they should be able to, but there are rules that they implement, that Congress wrote laws and implemented, that if I come in and I'm the president, I can't fire this random bureaucrat over here. This is how Fauci stayed in power. They kept saying he can't fire him. He can't fire him. I learned that he couldn't fire him. I'm like, that's weird that he can't fire somebody who works for him. He has to get the person in that hierarchy to fire him. And that doesn't make any sense. He's the CEO. So what happened was they had to go to court, of course, and the Supreme Court said, no. They work in the executive branch. He can fire anybody he wants. But this all started when he started threatening. Actually, this all started when he fired 49, I believe, prosecutors or just government think they were all prosecutors. He just fired them all because they were carryovers from Obama, and they were protesting him. And he's like, you can't. I'm the boss. This is my branch. I am in charge of prosecuting. I am in charge of all law enforcement. And they started suing him. You can't fire us. So he fired him. And like I said, that went all the way, I believe it went to the Supreme Court. Wherever it went, they decided, yes, he can. He does not have to go down the chain of command. He is on top. He is the boss. And this is why you have an entire fourth branch of government that was not elected by anyone. They were selected by Ronald Reagan. They're still there. These people are still there. It's a permanent job. It's almost like a union, but way, 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 way worse. I don't hate unions. There are some industries that need unions, but it shouldn't be hard to fire a non-performer. And what this guy is saying is you have all these people who are unelected. We saw it. There were a lot of people who would tell the president no when he was elected. Right now, he has a mandate. He wants to make sure there isn't somebody in some position where they were hired that can't be fired who says, you know what, I'm going to protest. I'm not going to do this. You can't do that. You are now taking away our votes, my vote. I voted for him to do what he's going to do. He ran on something for me, not for somebody behind a computer hiding behind in a welfare office. No, he has the power to fire everyone who works for him. That's it. Now, can he do it with other branches? No, that's why they're separation of powers. But he absolutely should do what he's doing. When he said he's going to drain the swamp and just get rid of entire branches because they're not elected. The FBI are appointees. That's it. They should never be able to tell the American people that the president of the United States worked with Russia or hiding a laptop that's all disinformation that he got from Russia. They should not be allowed to lie to the American people because they work for us. So when law enforcement turns on their own boss, that's not whistleblowing. That's outright insubordination. They should be terminated. And at that level, it's treason. I voted this man in to do a job. He works for me. He's their boss. That means they work for me also. There are no appointees or anyone who works in the federal government has absolutely no right to a job. It is absolutely dangerous, beautiful one. It is extremely dangerous because they have no right to, when they talk about a threat to democracy, I'm sorry, I'm on a rant. When they talk about a threat to democracy, there's nothing more dangerous. These are faceless human beings who were not elected, overruling what elected officials tell them to do. Why? Because Congress said I can't. Separation of powers. They have no right to do what they've been doing.
Never. As a matter of fact, most of the people don't like them at all, and yet they exist. One of such group is media. Who elected them?
Our media.
How come they have so much power? Almost monopolistic power on your mind. They can rape your mind. But who elected them? How come they have a nerve to decide what is good and what is bad for the elected by you, president, and his administration? Who the hell are they? They think they know. They don't. The level of mediocrity in a big establishment like New York Times, Los Angeles Times, major television network, you don't have to be excellent journalist. You have to be exactly a mediocre journalist. That's easier to survive. There's no competition anymore. You have your good, nice income, $100,000 a year.
That's how a guy like Don Lemon, who is a dolt, a complete and utter dolt, can have a job for so long spewing absolute nonsense. Mediocrity gets rewarded. They fail up. That's how Kamala Harris got to where she is. Gavin Newsom's trying to fail up. It's what it is. And yes, I saw this, Mel. What's interesting about that is I haven't seen anyone call for her to have some kind of charges brought upon her. She's a federal employee who did exactly what we're talking about right now. She took it upon herself to pass over 20 homes that were impacted by the hurricane. Over 20 homes of people who were suffering that, and a federal worker decided, I don't like the fact that they're voting a way I don't like. I don't know how that's not a civil rights violation. I hope they sue and I hope they win. And that's one of those things where I don't care if they get my tax dollars. I would rather go to that than waste. These people should get massive settlements, massive, because they pay in taxes for FEMA, and FEMA decided to hire an ideologue, and whether it's their fault or not doesn't matter. They are liable. She works for them, and she decided to pass over homes just because they had a Trump sign in their lawn and allowed them to suffer. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's unconstitutional because, again, that is a civil rights violation. And yeah, Roland Martin. Anyway.
That's it. Whether you are better or worse doesn't really matter anymore. As soon as you're smiling to the camera and do your job. Okay.
We're in the culture. We've been in the culture of participation rewards and trophies. You're just there. You don't have to really do anything. Everybody's number one. You erode meritocracy. You erode everything that's important. You erode the family. You erode education. This is everything he's just gone over. You erode faith. And then what do you rely on? You rely on the federal government. And that's what that teacher in the other video is doing to his high school kids.
Together with that, there is another process. Law enforcement, law and order organization and structure is being eroded. For the last 20, 25 years, if you see old movies and new movies, you can see that in new movies, a policeman, an officer of the United States Army looks dumb, angry, psychotic, paranoid.
Corrupt.
A criminal looks nice, kind of, well, he smokes hash and shoots the whatever drug, but basically he's a nice human being.
Yep.
He's creative, and he's unproductive only because society oppresses him. Whereby a general of Pentagon is always, by definition, a war maniac. A policeman is a pig, a rude policeman. He abuses his power. The hatred, the mistrust to the people who are supposed to protect you and enforce law and order. Moral relativity. The Angelo Buono process lasted 2 years in Los Angeles. And yet there are still some lawyers who say, look, he's a nice character, as a matter of fact. There was some witness who said, also a criminal, who said, well, he's a nice guy.
And even if he is a nice guy, and you can agree that, he shouldn't have passed the way he passed, he still had enough fentanyl in his system to kill a horse. So to ignore that, it's always annoyed me. And the only reason why I don't argue with people, because they are mostly right. You shouldn't have your neck kneel down, or your shoulders, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, the coroner did rule that it was not the M word. It was not, he was not unalived. This wasn't. He wasn't suffocated. But we ignore it. For years, we ignore it. And the more we do that, we are doing exactly what this man is saying. I'm not the GOAT. No, I'm not the GOAT. Definitely not the GOAT. I appreciate that, though.
I asked him one day to burn a house of my enemy, and he wouldn't do it. He's a nice fellow. Erosion.
Wow. That's true.
A slow substitution of basic moral principles. Whereby...
Just think about what he said, because that directly correlates to Black Lives Matter. And if you didn't support them. If you didn't on Twitter change your picture black, you're a coon. You're a sellout. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Now, he phrased it as if he didn't burn down a house, and he did it in a mocking way, but that's what they were saying. We all remember this. It's 4 years ago.
Guy, I asked him one day to burn a house of my enemy, and he wouldn't do it. He's a nice fellow.
They're laughing at the absurdity of it. Yeah, Ukraine flags, Ukraine pins. You see all Congress people wearing Ukraine pins. It's like, what are we doing here? They're laughing at the absurdity of it, but we just watched this happen.
A slow substitution of basic moral principles, whereby a criminal is not a criminal, actually. He's a defendant.
Yeah.
Even if his guilt is proven, there is still a doubt to kill or not to kill, to be or not to be. Thou shalt not kill, yes, but this line may not necessarily be applicable to a murderer. Thou shalt not murder. That should be the presumption, not that thou shalt not kill.
So I just wanted to cover that because we're in this other video. That's what we're watching. That's what we're listening to. And we're literally watching Marxism play out, and they know these rules. They know these tenets. That's why they're doing them. That's why this guy is finessing these little girls in his classroom, these boys in his classroom, and turning them against their own parents.
That's because back in July when Joe Biden dropped down and Kamala took over, I cried for a week.
He cried for a week. He's empathetic.
Stop. Because I knew what? I knew what? I knew that if we got the best candidate in the entire country, and it was a brown woman, people wouldn't vote for her. I knew that there were white people and non-white people that were men that would show up and would rather vote for literally anybody except someone with a uterus who has melanin.
This is straight indoctrination. This is evil. Evil.
And those females...
What's going on, Spare Your Angst? Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Spare Your Angst is over in... Spare Me Your Angst over from Rumble. I appreciate you for stopping by. This is Gw. So this is a teacher. I'll show his information after this. But this is a teacher, a real teacher in a high school class saying this insane stuff.
Students of color in this room know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We all deserve better. You now know what this country is. Is our country racist? Yes. Is our country patriarchal? Yes. Can we change it? Maybe. But can you change your immediate surroundings? Yes.
So I want to go back to the beginning of that because I was talking through it. But this is, and I'll play it straight through so you guys can hear it. And if people are just coming in, I want you to be able to hear this because this is absolute insanity. What this guy is saying is outright evil. And I don't see how it's not against the law.
Game.
He's talking to kids.
Does that make sense, everybody? Can't emphasize this enough. Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes. Can you end up with no human rights? Yes. Will it happen to you? Most likely not. Which is a good thing. But has Donald Trump quoted Hitler? Yes. Does he embody some of Hitler's ideas? Yes. Donald Trump won because we had low voter turnout. People didn't want to vote. He won because white women didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. He won because black men and brown men didn't show up and vote for Kamala Harris. Let me tell you, I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mothers rapists. He's called their fathers rapists. He's called them criminals. He called them the poison in the blood of our country. They want to vote for him, and they did vote for him. I know a lot of Latino men that wish they were white, and they'll never admit it to you. A lot of your fathers, a lot of your uncles, a lot of your grandfathers. God, they want to be white so bad. They never will be. Hate that shit. I hate Latino men that oppress the women in their family, their own daughters, and they turn around and vote for men that want to oppress them. I love being Mexican American. I love my community.
Let's do.
God, I fucking hate the patriarchy. If you're a young man right now in front of me, I hope you hate it too. Because it's not hurting you. It's hurting everyone you love. You get the privilege of not being born with uterus, so it doesn't affect you. It's affecting everyone else. I'm so fucking sorry, guys. You deserve better. Look at me. You deserve better. Do you have privilege because you live here? Yes. You're not a 5-year-old black girl in Arkansas who's the only African American in her class and whose great-grandfather was lynched to death during the Civil Rights Movement. You got a fuck ton of privilege living in this great state. This election is going to affect billions of people. You're very lucky to be where you're at. Because there is some poor Palestinian boy in Michigan that's going to get beat up today and assaulted and his nose broken. Because Trump said people that fight for the military are stupid cowards and they're idiots. He got drafted into Vietnam and faked medical paperwork to get out of it. Is that someone you idolize? Calls veterans idiots and uses his daddy's money to get us serving in the military?
This is evil.
Why did he win the election? A rapist, draft-dodging coward, treasonous scum. Why would he win? Why did he win? He won several key states Kamala lost. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. These key battleground states. Why did he win them? Look, why did he win them? Why would someone who in Wisconsin would vote for Joe Biden, a geriatric old Republican racist, who's running as a Democrat, why would they all of a sudden not vote for Kamala Harris, a young person who has no bad record,
60 years young,
who has effective policy for the future? Jiraiya. She has a vagina, if I use a different word, she has a vagina and uterus, and what else? She has melanin. She's mixed race. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised.
sounds like Barack Obama.
That's because back in July when Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala took over, I cried for a week, nonstop. Because I knew what? I knew what? I knew that if we got the best candidate in the entire country, and it was a brown woman, people wouldn't vote for her. I knew that there were white people and non-white people that were men that would show up and would rather vote for literally anybody except someone with a uterus who has melanin. And those female students of color in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. We all deserve better. You now know what this country is. Is our country racist?
Yes.
Is our country patriarchal?
Yes.
Can we change it? Maybe. But can you change your immediate surroundings? Yes.
So, they're putting fear into the children. This is everything that guy was talking about. He just essentially went straight down the line. And it's infuriating. No. No, the disciplinary action and the investigation says different. So, let's go to that. Let's see if I can read this. Mr. Perez is the AP World History class teacher. And this says, it was brought to the administration's attention that during class yesterday, the topic of election results surfaced and became heated. I didn't hear anybody else going back and forth with them, so I don't know how it's heated. It says, we want to thank those that came forward to express their concerns as we strive to create strong and welcoming environments for all. While we expect conversations regarding politics and political viewpoints to be discussed in AP World History class, we also expect it to remain respectful. We do not condone the behavior that was exhibited in class yesterday, and we want to thank those who brought, go to the next one, before I get there. Spare Me Your Angst said 1963-45, the 45 current goals of communism in effect at that time were read into the Constitution, into the constitutional record of Congress. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know these things. They just don't know. So when they see it or hear it, it doesn't mean anything to them. Let's see. Crap. It's hard for me to see this because it's hiding behind my little live thing. I think it says, we are fortunate to live in a diverse area with differing viewpoints and beliefs. I believe that is what it makes, or that is what makes not only Valley View High School, our community, special, but our nation as well. As educators, we understand that we hold a unique, influential role in guiding students on a journey of discovery. We aim to provide a balanced environment where all students feel safe to ask questions, research from reputable sources, engage in respectful dialogue, and ultimately form their own beliefs. How do you do that with a teacher like this, who's yelling at them and essentially making them chant? Are we a racist country? Yes. Like, after everything he says, is Trump evil? Yes. Like, that's not teaching. It's just not. And this is the principal of the school. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. Chris Gilliette, principal of Valley View High School. And this is in Moreno Valley, G-Will. This is California. So that part actually isn't surprising. So there's another one. I have two more teachers. I have two more teachers. Let me cover that up because it's just a black screen. And let's listen to this other guy. And it's a pattern.
Child molester, I'm gonna vote for that friggin' rape. Katrina, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I have a daughter. I have 3 nieces, and he raped them, and people are voting for him. The Christian.
So I bleeped out the words, but he's already using the R word, saying that Trump would R word his daughters. I don't know how he's come to that conclusion, but that's what this guy's saying. So.
Cried for a week, nonstop.
1 second after this.
Because I knew what? Yes. Is our country patriarchal? Yes. Can we change it? Maybe. But can you change your immediate surroundings?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Trying to get past that. Sorry.
Pissed off. Okay, Christians. Just do the warm up. I'm pissed. People voting for frickin' rapists, and I'm pissed off. Man bragged by grabbing girls by the P word. Caught on video. Okay, try it tonight. Google it. Probably grab my daughter without permission. I don't care. Fire the hell out of me. I'm fighting for my daughter, my nieces.
Fighting for his daughter.
Rights.
He's fighting for his daughter by yelling at high school students. That's what he's doing. He's such a class act. This guy is a great guy. Standing up.
Turn it off and try to go back to your freaking seat now. Go. Take that fart. Can you send security up? Please, room B205. I have a boy who has a Trump hat on.
So he called security because the boy has a Trump hat on. And, spare me your angst. Yeah, somebody needs to revoke his man card also. Yeah, the other one who said he cried for a week? What is that all about? This guy has listened to every mainstream media channel and believed them hook, line, and sinker. And I've actually had a guest on here, spare me your angst, who talked just like that. I mean, he wasn't yelling and unhinged, but they just repeat. They just go from talking point to talking point to talking point. It's wild. It really is.
I'm not going to tolerate it today. Bye-bye. I don't care if you have a Harris hat or Trump hat. You're out of here. You know better. Then tell Miller I have the right to vote for a rapist and a child molester. Go for it. Go for it. I don't give a F. I'm going to just go outside. Grab your backpack. Tell Miller you can't wear that. You're allowed to wear a freaking racist hat. Go for it. Go for it.
He's wearing an R warder's hat. And he's yelling at them, and they're waiting for security to come up to take the kid out of the class. It's absolutely insane.
Tell your mom, move you out of my class. You can't take a teacher that's standing for girls' rights. Freaking racist.
call the student racist.
Okay, I swore not to wear a hat today. I don't care if it's a Harris hat or a Trump hat. You don't wear it today. I'm pissed off.
So now either security or the principal came up and he's explaining to them that he wore a Trump hat and he doesn't allow Harris or Trump hats. But something tells me he would not be acting like this if Harris won. But now he's snitching on the student.
Hey, excuse me. What's wrong with me?
I said, what did his hat say?
Trump. The racist.
He even blew up at the girl who just asked what his hat said. Like she's trying to figure out what happened. Excuse me? Oh, she just asked what does it say? Oh, it's a Trump. The R-wordist.
Even Trumpers don't deny it. It's both forms. Get rid of 20 million immigrants like me.
20 million immigrants.
You know who should get out? You know who owns this land? The freaking Native Americans.
So he said that Native Americans own this land and we should get out. These people are absolutely insane. And this is what our kids are dealing with. This is the next one. So that guy, I thought I had his information. Crap. Hold on. Now I'm going to have to get it. Because I had his information. I can't believe I forgot to drop that in. This is another one. This lady is another one. His name, let's see. I apologize. I could have sworn I put it in here. Teacher. This is him. Man, I just failed. I don't know if I can pull these up. Dang, I can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. So, oh, this is funny. So this is in Chino Hills, Chino High School. But I believe this is in California also. His name is Mr. Kalinko. And I'm just going to read it. You guys can't see this. I apologize. I thought I put this in here. That says, we know that we are coming off a huge victory, but we must stay vigilant. This teacher, Mr. Kalinko from Chino High School, verbally attacked a student for wearing a Trump hat to school. This behavior will not be tolerated, and we will do everything in our power to protect our children. That's one of them. Man, this was supposed to be part of this presentation. I apologize, people. And then I have a picture of this guy. He's a girls golf teacher. Let me see if I can save this. I'm sorry. Man, I could have sworn. So there was a report of inappropriate conduct by a teacher, and the school district was notifying the parents. Chino Valley Unified School District is aware of the situation regarding Mr. Kalinko. I apologize for our staff members' behavior and comments, as this is not an example that we want to set for our students. The Division of Human Resources is working with with Chino Hills School to resolve the issue. I have asked Mr. Miller to contact you regarding your complaint and provide a resolution. Mr. Miller is the principal of this school. Sorry, people. Man, I could have sworn I saved all of this. Let me move forward. Nope, I didn't. Dang. Anyway, a teacher wrote a letter respecting that the teacher be removed. It says removed from the classroom. They should be removed from teaching, period. And that Chino Valley Unified School District to communicate how the situation will be handled and reassure parents and the community about how our kids will be able to attend school in a safe educational environment. I appreciate your attention to this matter. Please keep me informed about any actions taken, or if you require any further information from me or others who might have witnessed the incident. So the students recorded these teachers. Otherwise, we would not know that this is going on. There would be no way to know. Because if you visited the school and went into class with your student, they're not going to do this. So the students have to say something, which is why I go back to that gentleman, Mr. DeAngelis, I think I said his name was. He tells students, if you see anything, let me know. So this lady Her name is Annie Dunleavy, and she's a special ed teacher at Chapman School in Connecticut. But this one is visual, so you can actually see it, because she put something in a chat, a social media chat, and somebody put it out there for everyone to see. And I usually don't like private communication being given to the public, but there are certain professions that I need to know your temperament, and special ed would be one of those, where if you're doing something crazy on the side, I need to know about that. So yeah, normally I'm not a fan of releasing private conversations, but this is not normal.
People of color and poor people and gay people and all the people that I care about aren't going to be safe in America. Neither the fuck are you guys. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the fuck you voted for. You're not in the clear. And just please, please don't test your gangster on me, because you will end on a stretcher, gone,
Special
forever. So serious. Nobody fucking talk to me unless you want to swing. If you want to fight, text me, call me, whatever. Anybody else, stay the fuck out of my face. And if you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and I can handle you how I see fit. Please just come forward. We fucking know. Just tell me. Or leave. Please. The door.
Special ed. So this is a person who needs to exhibit even more patience than normal. And that's who's teaching special ed children. But yeah, now hopefully I get to hear the disagreement, Mel, because what I'm going to do now is drop the link. And if anyone would like to discuss what we just watched, feel free. I apologize because I told you guys we would be annoyed by the end of this, but these people are crazy. And there's no way we would know unless people like, let me go find his name again, because that's important. Let me find his name again.
Create a government.
Let me find his name. What is your name? Nope. This guy, Corey DeAngelis. This is what he does, and he's an important guy. I see you. This guy's important. Follow him on X. You'll see a lot of this. Unfortunately, you'll see a lot of this. What's going on, sir?
So I want to put out this disclaimer that not every teacher, please, people, please, Lord, help us. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Not every teacher falls under this. Please do not think Mel Dub is
even capable of that nonsense.
Is out here indoctrinating your kids. I don't have purple hair. I don't have one of them bull nose rings. I don't have piercings on my cheeks and my eyebrows. I don't have tattoos on my feet and my ankles and all this other weird, crazy stuff. Not if you had that, God bless you. But no.
That was yeah. Just listening to that, and I had to edit it. I thought I caught all the R words. I feel bad, but I had to edit that, so I had to listen to it a couple times. Like, oh man, these people. I'm scared to think of what I would do if that was one of my daughter's classes or my son now. Man. And this is Phoenix Rising. This is Trump's people are the ones who are supposed to be doing this. But here we are. It's all leftists.
Well, I will say I do disagree with what I watched that lady say. Now, obviously, she should be in the special ed class and not teaching the special ed class, keeping it a bean, keep it a buck. But I don't believe. I think we've gotten to an effort where we're too overzealous with what someone says personal. Should interfere what they do professionally. That's why I have to be guarded on here what I do, because we're in Doxville, USA, and someone's looking for me to say something the wrong way. So I always couch myself very carefully with that. I saw a teacher get fired in the East Coast of Florida simply because he said he disagreed with same-sex marriage, and I think it was in Broward County. You can't do that in Broward County. I know, right? But that's why. So I've always been on the extreme side of, I don't care how ignorant someone sounds.
Yeah.
If it's something that they do outside of the classroom and you can't prove that it's affecting what they're doing in the classroom, I've always been against that notion or that that nonsense.
I was until I saw her, and I believe that's. I don't know for sure, but if that's a social media platform, she put it out there. So I don't know how private that is. I haven't looked into her yet. I do know, I believe she's been put on administrative leave also.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's one of them things where I think sometimes it gets jaded that whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or liberal or conservative, because you work in the education profession, people not saying you do this, but people do tend to believe that you don't have a right to your own views and your expressed opinions, because there'll be a parent that come in because you failed a kid and they'll say, oh, well, you don't like us because we voted for Kamala and I saw your Facebook post, and then the principal has a headache over that. So that's why, I try to fight against that stuff. But at the same time, would I probably want her being my child's special ed teacher? Would I probably want her even working in the cafeteria? I don't think so, but that's just me.
She shouldn't be allowed. So again, if it were a political rant, that's one thing, but she's like threatening to put people in stretchers, and that's just not. I don't. If it was a private text, I wouldn't feel the same way I do as it being in a chat like that. So again, I think that may have been social media. Either way, I can't imagine finding out that a teacher is talking like that on any kind of social media or chat group, and be comfortable with them teaching my son. I just can't.
We'd have to make a different discussion, different live on that one, because I think that would be a good conversation to have on what's the boundary lines of a teacher having their right to their opinion versus them becoming a vessel of indoctrination to children.
Yeah, because the other two are insane, and I don't know how. They have to be violating something. I just don't know that realm very well. I don't know, like, is there an oath? Is there what do you guys like?
We don't have there's no hypocritical.
So there's no like promise to. There's no promises that are being made to protect. Like, I don't know. That's just I don't understand.
So every state is different. But so be careful what we ask for when we get rid of the Department of Education, which I don't oppose by any stretch of the imagination. But keep in mind that's going to free up states like California and states like Oregon and Washington State especially to become the indoctrinated capitals of America when it comes to our kiddos. But when you become a teacher, a lot of times you do have to get into these ethical agreements when you sign your contracts. So I'm at my job right now, and just yelled out I don't agree with same-sex marriage. I had to call myself an HR. Did you fire yourself, G. Will? Did you make yourself do sensitivity training?
And that's the great thing about working for yourself. You can say stuff like that, and it's not an issue. But no, you have to do you do have to do some type of ethical agreements when you go into that profession, so to speak. And there are code of conducts that you are supposed to follow by.
Now, is there federal statutes? No, there are not federal statutes unless it involves unless it involves violating civil rights and, of course, Title IX. And in the states, like I said, they make their own type of ethical considerations. So I would imagine that California is pretty laxed on letting the teacher spew fear mongering in that type of way, and
So what I do like is I think when teacher, like, these were both in California, or two of those were in California. I believe that parents will get quicker action in California. I could be wrong, but I believe that it's easier to hold state level officials accountable, and obviously city and I believe it's easier to hold them accountable. Now, do they really know what's going on, or are they just completely inundated with propaganda? That's a whole different conversation. I don't know. But I think California is in for a reckoning because there are a lot of red counties. I don't know if you saw the map, but California is really transforming.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, at least I was going to say, I don't know if they're dumb enough to keep progressing, but that's what they do. I think, no. I was going to say I think they're learning from the mistakes, but I don't. I really don't.
San Diego's always been a pretty moderate, city, but then California in itself, they've only been controlled by the three major metropolitan areas such as Oakland, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, and then also if you want to throw in Sacramento. But pretty much the rural area, the wine country area, and those places like that, they typically vote red, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, the map is impressive how much red was on that California map compared to the last election. Spare me your angst said Jarvis Tyner is uncompromising in his support for Democrats and the Communist Party. Friend Barry Soetoro. Tyner is of mixed race from Berkeley, California. And he's only the beginning, Tyner said. I think he's a transitional president. I think somebody else is going to come in and take it even further. I don't know, man. I hope you're wrong, but I don't know if that's going to be allowed. We really need to pray for Trump right now because the stuff that he's saying and doing and I don't want to say threatening, the stuff that he's talking about implementing are things that the right has been talking about, claiming to want for decades, and he's going to actually do it. That Ron Paul thing is amazing, and he's essentially libertarian.
And I would say this about with Donald Trump, and then I'll get back on the education piece. When you talk about like some of the actions. So I'm waiting to see the other shoe drop. I was in Roly Poly Martin's chat just watching some of those.
Oh, that was hilarious. He was mad.
Ooh, but I'm talking about the one today where he had the lady, where he had the female lady up there. So and she was being all victim. But
is that not the same one where he was talking about what the DNC needs to do?
No, that was just reason. You gotta go check it out. I hate giving them a view, but you gotta go check it out. But the thing about it is these people are now saying, oh, well, Donald Trump promised all this stuff. And so when he doesn't deliver, you'll be sorry and you'll be all this and that. So here's the one reason why I voted for Donald Trump. I don't expect him to do anything for me. Yeah. What I expect him to do is not hinder my rights as they already exist. The thing about it is most Americans just want to be left alone by the government. Yep. They don't need you to put in all these provisions, these inclusive holidays, and all of these other things that you're throwing and shoving down people's throat, the open borders. No, what we as American people wanted from Donald Trump is just, ironically, normalcy.
Yeah.
So if anybody says, "Oh, well, you didn't get what you voted for," that I voted for to be left alone.
Yep, I think that's most people. At least this time around, we're voting for. They're going away from the equity thing, the equal outcomes, and they're going more towards equal opportunity, and then just leave me alone. Yeah. But I heard about this. I don't know anything about this Phoenix Rising. She said supposedly Black people across the nation received texts and emails that were threatening. My first question was, how do they know a bunch of strangers' ethnicity. Somebody would have had to release. I don't know. I guess one of those some of those polls may have either lost the information or sold the information, because they ask those questions if you take those polls. I don't know. You heard about that, Mel?
Yeah, I saw them talking about it, but here's the weird thing. I didn't get a text message like that.
I didn't either.
So when they say, so
I wonder if it's registered Democrats or.
I would guarantee you probably the registered Democrats probably got them, and it probably was sent by somebody who works with the Democrat Party or some grassroots organization or one of their surrogates that paid money for them, because it's not like it was a mass text message sent out to everybody in Black America. It's just only a few selected people.
But they still knew that they were Black. That's the interesting part.
When you fill out those questionnaires for your party, they're gonna say that. But back to the education piece, I'm really perturbed when I listen to that teacher speak, or that so-called teacher, because he's not a real teacher. What he is he's an emotional guy who has watched teachers on TV. He thinks being cool. He probably the guy that sits on the table as he's talking to the kids and got his sleeves rolled up, and so prefer to call himself a Latin
shirt button down to here, or unbuttoned,
shirt button down, trying to be Mr. Cool Teacher. And I bet you them kids ain't learning jack shit in his class. But what's really scary about
history was the first one.
What's really scary about that is he took the right of thinking away from those students, and the number one goal after him. The number one goal of being an educator, not a teacher, but an educator, is to invoke thinking within your student population.
Yeah, empower them. Yeah.
I always had students ask me, Mr. Dub, who are you voting for? And I'll tell them, and I'll always catch them in suspense too. I say, okay, I'll tell y'all guys. So this is who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to vote for the person who represents my values and my beliefs. And they was like, well, who is that? Who is that? And I'll be like, none of your business. And they always would get mad at me, but at the same time, I would still do devil's advocate.
That's what I was going to say. That's a perfect opportunity to do devil's advocate and make them think about their own positions and voice.
We literally had knockdown, drag out conversations about real topics in my classroom. But what I never did was I never injected my viewpoints on those students, because I knew my position of power could influence and sway what they believed. And I didn't want them to believe what I believed. I wanted them to believe what in their heart they felt was right and convicted, and long as they could defend it and back it up without using a Wikipedia quote. And there was so many historical misinformations what that so-called teacher said in his rambling rant. It was nauseating and it was disgusting. And I'm telling you right now, Odom Speaks, if my name isn't Mel Dub right now, that dude would never be able to stand in front of me as an educator and have a conversation and expect me to get his respect, or think that he would be able to ever challenge me about these things.
Yeah, anything. I had when I went to college, I went back to college. It's a long story, but I was at Columbia College and I had an anthropology teacher. I hated that class.
Well, my bad. My bad. Speaks. I'm not Phoenix Risers, right? I'm not a real teacher. No, I pretend to do. Yeah. If I was a teacher, well, go ahead. Speaks.
I had an anthropology teacher whose husband his book was the required reading for the course. And I said something about it. She didn't say anything, but he could tell she hated my guts. And then I got into a full-on argument with this woman right in class. And then I complained, and I actually got that credit. I got the credit for the class, and I got removed from her class and moved to another one. Problem with the other one was it was less credits, but they gave me the full credits because that was wrong. There are teachers who are strictly in it for themselves. Because I was like, I thought you said your husband worked here. She said he does. I was like, this is his book. And like, so you're making me buy a book that directly benefits you. And oh man, she lost it in front of the whole class too. But I was older than all the people in the class. They didn't know what the hell was. They didn't know what was going on. I'm like, we're not doing this. I was like, so there's no point in me being in here if you're going to force me to read your husband's book and pay you on top of what I've already paid the tuition. So part of the story is not all teachers have the kids' interest at heart, and a lot of them are trying to find ways to make money because of that chart that I showed. No growth, 5% growth in wages for teachers dating back to 79. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So in a way, I felt bad for her, but at the same time, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Well, that I don't think that counts post secondary institutions, because if it was post secondary institutions, professors probably average a salary of a little less than $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So
the second one made like, I think he makes 95 a year, but again, he's in California. They're both in California, so I think they make a little bit more than the national average.
And so when you look at it from that standpoint, I'm actually in a situation right now where I received a grade that I had to appeal for because I told you I was in a doctorate program, but I'm also getting another dual endorsement for my education, and this dude gives me a grade, a B grade, and I'm like, no, I probably should get an A grade because I turned in some of my assignments late. And so he's like, and he just automatically gave me a 50 on it. So I looked at him, and this is the problem with colleges, because I turned my assignments late in. Now, the quality of the work was not graded. The time of the work was graded. I could care less about that, because I'm not a 24, 25-year-old looking for his approval. I'm a 41-year-old saying, I know my value of my work. You better give me my grade. So if they don't, give me the correct grade on it, it's going to be an even bigger problem, because I paid a lot of money into that.
Yep.
But those schools are producing these indoctrinated students. The campus that I currently, the school that I currently attend and the campus I'm on, they had Palestinian rallies on this campus. So I didn't share that. Give me a moment. I'm gonna have you check your text message if I can find that. What I was.
Yeah, and I don't really have a problem with the Palestinian rallies as long as they would be okay with an Israel rally, and I have a feeling they wouldn't, because it's supposed to be a place of free speech. But I have a strong feeling they would not be okay with the other side doing it. And we see this all the time when people like Candace Owens or Charlie Kirk or these other even Vivek go onto college campuses and they get yelled down, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is the place for this. This is where you're supposed to be learning opposite perspectives. This is where you're supposed to be building your own opinions. Like, you should already be set. But yeah, it's well,
the irony of that though is the people who were leading these rallies, God help them,
goodness,
they weren't Palestinians. So
my goodness.
What is it?
Should I play this?
Yeah.
The teacher?
Oh, the one. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll find it. Yeah. Let me see. Let me share, copy. Whatever I share I copy on my phone, I can paste it to my on the laptop. It's all connected, so I should be able to find that pretty quick. Paste and go. I don't even know what I'm looking at. All right, here we go. Stop.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right, let's share this and see what we're watching. This is all Mel's fault, whatever this is. Here we go. Whoa, teacher. Share. Sound.
Isn't that all these weirdo teachers think that their rights supersede the rights? Why is it that all these weirdo teachers think that their rights supersede the rights of their parents? It's weird.
The first day I had 25 students. By day 2, I had 19 because 6 parents switched out of the class because they saw me and they were like, there's no freaking way, before I even got a word in.
What's that?
That is reality.
Do I think that it is okay for a parent to see me and go, not around my kid?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's okay.
Nobody cares what you think.
I feel like that's really crossing the line.
It's still the right of the parent to make that decision as to whether or not they want their child to learn from you.
Okay.
Like, it's still that parent's right. Like, you can disagree with their motivations, their motives, their ideas.
Would you say
but it's still their choice.
Make sure you leave a like in this video if you haven't yet. Subscribe or follow down below for more daily news.
I definitely like that one. That is wild. That is wild.
But yeah, no, he's made a lot of videos on that one. So
the other guy, what's his name? I think his name is TJ. That kid, he's really good. He's been talking about running for president since he was like 6. That's when he actually became famous.
Yeah. So you asked me at one point, like, why do teachers are easily indoctrinated in that way? Well, it's because they're still young and impressionable in their mind when they first get into the education profession. So what you have is a lot of these teachers getting indoctrinated by their college professors, and so they're regurgitating a lot of this information that their college professors are recycling down. So when they come out of the schools, first of all, I'm gonna tell you this right now, the teachers are not getting trained the way they should be getting trained when they come out of those teacher certification programs. So they're not even ready for the classroom. So now you take this young 20-something-year-old, early 20-something bleeding heart liberal, throw them into a classroom, throw them into a classroom, and then so what they're going to think is, oh, well, what I think should be what's true, but not how do I mold the minds of these young men and women when their minds haven't even been molded themselves. So, which leads to a lot of the sexual misconduct that's happening too.
Oh man! And then creepy teachers like that first one, making it seem like he's on the girl's side and you can't trust your own fathers. Like, what was that? That was so disturbing.
That was grooming. That is grooming language.
It really sounded like it. To make kids not trust their father and complaining about patriarchy, and I'm like, this is something. There's more to what he was doing than just regular indoctrination. It was creepy.
Yeah,
really, and he was talking to the boys like that too, like the girls couldn't trust him, but he's the protector of the girls. Like, these girls, they're we're protecting their uterus. I'm like, this is something different.
I would dig into that. I would dig into his background a little bit. I would guarantee. I mean, if I'm administrator there, I would dig into, just because of the nature of the conversation he was having. He was talking to them like they were equal adults and not kids needing guidance on how to research and develop critical thinking skills. And that's the dangers about what people think. He makes people who teach history the right way look bad, because everyone thinks that every history teacher is out there with a flag with 20 flags on their wall, and walking around and that's not the case. But it's people like him that have destroyed the respect of the institution of teaching. But teachers should get paid more. I will say that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Especially, so I used to be like, I was agnostic on it until I saw that chart. Like, since 1979, there's only been 5% growth. Like, that is insane in teacher salaries.
Yeah,
like but principals and all the administration, like, why are they needed more than the teachers?
So the challenge about teaching today, the challenge about administration today, a lot of people don't know. I do want people to give like the administrators a little bit of a break, because it's not like it used to be. There's no Joe Clarks out there where they run their school their own way.
Yeah.
They literally are managers of schools, and they're literally just the paper pushers of what the agenda of the district is going to be. It's not like it used to be. They really they are legitimate managers of schools, and so it's unfortunate. Yeah. But they need the principals, because the schools, they're the large population of students in schools.
So you need more than one principal, because the amount of principals should not be more than the amount of teachers. I don't understand that. Like, how many principals do you need per school?
No, okay. So so for example, let's say down here in Florida, and I'm going to use sports perspective. So we have we have 7 classifications in sports. If you have a 7A school, that means your school can range between 2,700 to 3,500. And so for every 500 students, I believe, they add an additional assistant principal.
Got it.
All right. You have one principal, but for every 500 students, they add an additional role for a principal.
Got it.
So yeah.
I don't know. I just put this comment up. So parents shouldn't reinforce their beliefs and values with their children and raise them productively. Absolutely. And I actually remember this. That made me think of a video. My kids. Let's see. No. Nah, never mind. I can't find it.
Well, but see, but that's the conundrum I think a lot of progressive people in education fall into. On one hand, they'll sit here and say that whole "it takes a village" nonsense, and they'll sit here and say,
I never believed
you know, we need parents to be involved and parental involvement, and you know, and they'll come up with ideas like Kamala Harris, let's lock the parents up if their kids are truant. So they want the parents to be involved. But then when the parents have a say-so about the involvement, then it's, well, you're not a teacher, so you don't know. Trust the teachers and stay in your place. My thought process has always been, I'm the expert when it comes to education. But the parent is the expert when it comes to their child.
That's a tough one because I don't know. Because what if you have something? Well, I guess that the ones we just saw were obvious. Because you are entrusted that, I mean, that is you guys' job, your career.
But then I wouldn't feel comfortable with any of my children or my nieces or nephews being in that classroom with that clown, or the strange one you just put up. You do the strange one you just put up. I wouldn't want them anywhere near that. Not because of the lifestyle that person lived, but because of the awkwardness to have that conversation in front of children. You know, so
can't have it in front of the kids. Yeah, I don't know, man. That one, I don't know.
Well,
because I still want to be able. I mean, I guess if I wanted that, I can indoctrinate or put my kids in a private school where there's a little bit more, not control, but
I do see it. I do see it trending towards. Feel like parents should have more power on what kind of education their children is given. Absolutely, school choices. School choice is a phenomenal thing, except in sports. It's a terrible thing with sports, but it's a great thing to have. The only problem with that beautiful one is getting the kids to those schools. Is because a lot of times the buses will not take those kids, and we are overburdened, and we have a teacher. Oh my God! Oh, speaks. You got to look at Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris talking about electric school buses.
Oh gosh, I've seen those. That's those are kind of old. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But I bring it up because these people are so backwards that they will brag about electric school bus money. And we don't even have bus drivers to drive these school buses. Yeah. And it's it's literally the stupidest thing. But that's the challenge, is we don't have the resources to fund supporting getting kids to all these different schools. Something has to happen with the transportation system, but I'm an advocate for parents having school choice, and I do think that you should have the right to remove your kid from an unsafe school or an unproductive school and place them in a school that is going to be academically beneficial to them. with the tax money that you spend. So a lot of you guys don't know, when O was talking about per pupil cost, you should really look up how much, if your child goes into a public school or grandchild or niece or nephew, you should really look up how much that cost is. So for me in the state of Florida, for my children and everybody's children, the per pupil cost is around $12,400 for 1 year. For 1 year of that child's education, you're going to spend $12,400.
How high up does the oversight go? Is that already pretty much being handled on a district basis, or is it state, or do they really have to answer federally for anything as far as curriculum?
So there are two type of buckets that schools get money for. So schools get money from the state budgets, but then also if they get money from if they're classified as a Title I school. Title I is a federal program. They get money for Title IX athletics and things of that nature. Then they also get money for the special education. Those are federal monies that you qualify and get. This goes back to why I said school districts love and welcome the idea of having kids on IEPs, because they get money from the federal government. The state automatically allocates and sets aside funding for them as well. So you don't get as much money as you think from the federal government. But what happens is this: if you don't do what the federal government wants you to do, they have the authority to take it away from you. Like for a few years ago, remember, I think Barack Obama, when some of the school districts were fighting against the bathroom policies, Obama threatened to pull money from them if they didn't comply with his new bathroom mandate, I think for transgender bathrooms.
I think you mean Satoru? I don't know who Obama. You talking about Barry? Barry Satoru?
I'm talking about the guy that was raised in Indonesia.
Oh, Barry.
He lived in Hawaii with his grandparents.
I don't know.
I'm talking about.
Familiar with that name.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, the guy who went to Occidental College that has 0.001% black population. And he played on their basketball team.
So the federal government would still be able to do things like that, even if it's given back to the states. I know
the courts would. I think the courts would, because you're talking about the I know the 10th Amendment, with the states' rights, giving them states' rights, but then there are also constitutional protections that precede that the courts would decide. Like, if there's a civil rights violation or something of that nature, they wouldn't necessarily fine the school district. What they would probably do is they would either shut it down, take it over, do something like that, if they find fault.
I think there's so many administrators in the Department of Education that's going to save so much money. I'm really, really excited. And like I said, it's not just that branch. He's talking about doing that all over the government. And that's Elon's job, and that's what he does. So I'm really excited over this. I really am.
Well, what's scary about it is you got to think about something. That lady who was with FEMA that gave that directive to close, to stop money, to stop supporting for people out there in Lake Placid. Now, Lake Placid, which the irony of Lake Placid has a strong black and Hispanic population. So she actually
care about race. She was
so she was actually cutting those people out. But for every one of her, there's probably 3 of them working in the Department of Education. So think about it. If you're applying for a federal grant and then they research and they see that you supported Trump, or think about it if you apply for a PSFL loan forgiveness, to have your student loans forgiven, and they see that if you tried to do that, or if I did that, we're having a live right now. They're going to say, oh well, you know what, we're gonna do. That's the deep state that people are talking about, that Trump is talking about It's those people. It's the people who work for Lois Lerner to target conservatives. It's people that you don't have to necessarily give directives to, but because they've been indoctrinated and you throw them in positions such as what HUD positions, and you throw them in positions where they're supposed to be helping folks, but they become so corrupted in how they.
Eric Holder, oh my goodness, everything under him, every branch of government, that dude. Yeah, that was wild. Was it you who was talking about Lois Lerner the other day?
Yeah, I talked about Lois
Lerner.
Lerner.
I was gonna say she's in. I think she's in for some trouble now. But that was you who played it. Okay. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So people think that when you talk about when they say, "Oh, well, Donald Trump, he's going to go after his enemies." No. He's not going after people who are Democrats. I can already say that. He's going after people that verifiably corrupted the system to try to disrupt this election, or try to specifically target people for the fact that they supported him, for no other reason that they're targeting him, just for the fact that they supported him. Steve Bannon is an example of that.
Dude did 4 years.
Yeah. Who's the other guy?
Eric Holder got. They found him in contempt of Congress and nothing.
Yeah. Joe Biden.
Exact same offense.
Joe Biden, classified documents. They're trying to put this Trump on trial for that. And they say, oh, well, Joe Biden's old, so we can't really change it.
So I don't know. Did you see the findings of the committee that was looking into Joe Biden's and Hunter Biden's dealings?
No.
Oh, man.
And this,
I have it. I don't know if it's clean yet, because I was gonna make that a short. I'll probably still make it a short. But man, dude.
But this is what's important about this. So when you see these people talking about, oh, well, Donald Trump is going to go after his enemies,
enemies of the state.
I feel like it's a subliminal way that they're trying to make it seem like if they get brought up on some charges for shit that they actually did do, they're trying to set it up to position it to say, oh, well, Trump's just going after us.
I'm being politically persecuted. No.
Yeah, when you credibly did do some shenanigans, because you know Trump is going to look into that 2020 election.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. Here it is. Let's see. Yeah, this is a trip. This just came out. I don't know if you guys seen this one. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a short. I was just holding it because I don't want to keep dropping shorts all day, every day. But this is wild. It's only 56 seconds. I had to cut it.
This morning, House Republicans finding President Biden and his family received more than $27 million from foreign individuals and entities since 2014. Lawmakers call it an impeachable conduct
and said he abused his office and, quote, defrauded the United States to enrich his family. Republicans revealed that since 2014, the Biden family and its associates received more than $27 million from foreign individuals and entities. They also found that while Biden was serving as vice president, the Biden family got more than $8 million in loans from Democratic benefactors. And they say those loans have not been repaid. So this report says, in part, quote, as vice president, President Biden actively participated in a conspiracy by, among other things, attending dinners with his family's foreign business partners and speaking to them by phone, often when being placed on speakerphone by Hunter Biden.
So I've known about this the whole time, but the fact that he wasn't president, he will not be able to use that immunity thing. That is wild. And like, it's one thing knowing about it, it's another thing seeing the report finally come out. That I'm too old thing, I don't know. And what's really weird is I've been seeing a lot of people, even on the right, saying that Trump should pardon Hunter Biden to I don't know, ease the tensions. I'm like, absolutely not. And my wife asked me because she heard somebody say it. I'm like, no. That dude is the face of government corruption. Like, everything he does is what's wrong with politics today. And there's just no way. There's no way Trump should do that.
Well, that was one of the criticisms I had with Donald Trump in his first term, where there was numerous accounts of the Clinton Foundation doing nefarious actions, particularly taking advantage of the Haitian island, or the island of Haiti, during that hurricane. So when he made the mention of locking Hillary Clinton up, I actually believed him. And so when he did not pursue that,
I was disappointed.
I was fairly disappointed with him, and as far as like him just being a rhetoric speaker in some instances.
Well, and he said he didn't want to do it because of where the country was, but now I think we should be looking back at those emails, because I guarantee those emails have all of the information that they need about Haiti and everything else she's done. Because you don't destroy servers like that, and they shouldn't be private because you work for me. I should be able to go find that information or request that information with a Freedom of Information Act, or go down to the library. I should be able to find what she was doing on those computers, because she's doing it on it's my property. And the fact that she was able to keep one in her basement and then destroy it.
But Lois Lerner, same thing. Though her emails just magically disappeared, and she pled the fifth. But Phoenix Rising just said something that's very, very, very critical of why I don't think anybody who was in a Biden administration team should ever have anywhere close to being in the White House or a public office ever again. We literally symbolically let somebody be president of the United States who was
7 months,
who was deemed mentally incapable of standing trial for a crime of withholding classified documents in his keeping classified documents in his personal care.
And he got to stay in power.
Got to make
nothing came out of it.
But got to stay in power and make decisions. And that's why I said
as the most powerful man on earth,
as the most powerful man in the world. And if the Harris people, or if the Democrats were smart, they should have done what I tried to tell you what was going to happen. That they should have made her the president symbolically, just in case even if she lost, they would be able to say that she was the president.
They're trying to do that now. I don't know if you heard this.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah. And that's going to be part of my life.
Give her a symbolic victory, and they're trying to push Sonia Sotomayor out. I don't know if you see that as well.
Yeah, they're not going to be.
Trump gets in office. That means she got some health issues going on.
Yeah. But the fact that they're trying to force it, you can't force it. And they're trying to do it. So Trump also, one of the things he was talking about was pushing Congress to not allow appointments during the grace period, because he was elected and he's got the mandate. And I don't think he did that when he was on his way out. I don't think he pushed judges through like the left loves to do.
No. And when they argued about Amy Coney Barrett being there, they made this stupid argument about, well, Republicans made a fit about Obama trying to appoint Merrick Garland, but Obama was termed out. Trump was up for re-election.
Exactly.
So it was a bad argument to say the least.
Yeah, lame duck versus a guy who's literally still running. Yeah, it's not the same thing. I have something. One more thing. Can I save this? Will it let me? I'm trying to save something as a PDF. Let's see. I don't. So
shout out to Miss Beautiful One and Miss Phoenix Rising and everybody out there.
Always. So let's see if the slide works. Every time I make a picture into a PDF, it rotates. So let's see if I can bring this up. I don't know why it does it. It just does it. It spins it sideways.
What is it?
It is a it's a, let's see. This is a 9-point platform for the transitioning. We'll just say transitioning. Oh, I can't zoom in.
Wait, bro, that's a.
Hold on. Let's see.
That's the target. That's the target target kids.
Yeah, let's see. I might have to leave it up. I can't see it though to read it.
I can read some. So one of it. What is the first one?
It says, "We call for the right to self-determination and control of our destinies."
Okay.
And the second one says, "We call for the abolition of the police, ICE, borders, and the judicial system."
So this is the national. What is that? The National Trans Youth Council.
Yeah. It says, "We call for an end to I don't even know what that word is. Disposability politics and a commitment to transformative justice." And number 4 says, "We call for an end of the cisgender heterosexual patriarchy." This was in BLM's. This was on their About Me page.
Oh my God!
This is verbatim. "We call for the decolonization and reparations of all indigenous." Dude, all of indigenous and black people. This was just reading it out loud. Now I'm remembering, because I had to show people BLM's homepage, and you had to find it. You had to go into their About Me section and go into their mission statement.
And they say we're not trying to indoctrinate, and they're not trying to indoctrinate our kids.
"We call for comprehensive education that reflects our histories and needs." Number 7, "We call for an end to global white supremacy." Who doesn't? Number 8, "We call for land justice and environmental justice."
You gotta have climate change up in there somewhere.
And number 9, "We invite our comrades, accomplices, and allies to join this." I'm about to show you BLM's. Oh, let me pull this down. Interesting. That is almost verbatim to Black Lives Matter, their mission statement, if I can find it. I haven't.
And that's specifically targeting. That's specifically targeting kids.
Yeah, that one was specific. This one is more. At least this one is for adults. The one that was just up was for kids, and that's to indoctrinate them. But I have not had to look this up, and they pulled it off their website, and I saved it right before they did. That is interesting. Sorry. That's just really fascinating. I may have to send this offline, because that is fascinating that the language is verbatim.
So you got to be careful anytime you see that fist.
Oh yeah.
There's always a coordinated effort. Whenever you see that fist within some type of movement or agenda, it is coordinated under the same umbrella.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay? That labor union fist.
Always.
It's always coordinated under the same effort.
Let's see if I can pull this up. Wow. I don't know why that's never occurred to me before. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it up. It's going to probably take too long to edit that. Wow. I found the things from BLM's website. Interesting.
They still got a website?
Well, they pulled this information off, what I'm about to show. They pulled this off a while back, like before it really got controversial. And people started pointing it out, like, hey, wait, I think Larry Elder was the first one I saw pointed out. And I went to look to see if he was, that guy, he knows everything. But I went to go look, and sure enough, it was all right there. And I'm like, what the? Let's see.
Oh my God. Hey, yo, I'm just looking at Libs of TikTok. They're running that same video. They're running that same video clip that you were showing about that deranged special ed teacher.
Oh, she's insane. I think I got it from Libs of TikTok. I got it from them. Yeah, I got that from them. They're absolutely insane.
Hey, shout out to John Thompson, man, and salute to anybody else who's a veteran, man. Thank you guys for doing the work that some of us couldn't do, and just keeping our country safe, man. Salute to you, brother.
John's in here?
Yeah.
What's going on, sir? Yeah, this ain't gonna work. this is gonna work. Dang it. Oh well. Oh well. I tried. I may send you this offline because this is wild. I can send it on oh wait, you don't have Instagram, huh?
No. But that was but that's interesting, like I said, that they're pushing that on our kids because it shows you exactly it shows you exactly what Moms of Liberty and other groups like that, they are the consequence of people like that teacher who you just shared. You know, these people are consequences. I always say Donald Trump is a consequential president.
Oh yeah.
He's the consequence of that Obama loyalty that we saw that protected this man for all those years and swept some of his misgivings under the rug.
Yeah. So not just that, femininity or trying to eliminate masculinity. What you're going to have is the exact opposite pendulum swing.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'll just read it. Dang, this sucks. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless she, he, or they disclose otherwise.
Time out. Hold on. Time out. Technical file. So you mean to tell me the very first thing in a Black Lives Matter
exactly? No, it gets worse. No. So the next one was, we affirm the lives of Black, queer, and trans folks, disabled folks, undocumented folks, folks with records, women, and all Black lives along the gender spectrum. Our network centers those who have been marginalized within Black liberation movements. This is from their website, dude.
So hold on, personal file. So you mean to tell me they didn't mention anything about heterosexual people?
Nope. Oh, not yet. It's in there. So we call for the national defunding of police. We demand investment in our communities and the resources to ensure Black people not only survive but thrive. If you're with us, add your name and petition right now to help us spread the word. Here comes the hetero part, and it's not positive. It says, as organizers who work with everyday people, BLM members see and understand significant gaps in movement spaces and leadership. Black liberation movements in this country have created room, space, and leadership mostly for Black heterosexual cisgender men, leaving women, queer, and transgender people and others either out of the movement or in the background to move the work forward with little to no recognition. As a network, we have always recognized the need to center the leadership of women and queer and trans people, to maximize the movement muscle and be intentional about not replicating harmful practices and exclude so many people or so many in past movements for liberation. This was on their website back in 2020.
So hold on. I got a file ball right here real quick. Right?
I have them all. It's on my phone. I'm reading them.
So you mean to tell me that they're not that if someone came in because they're inclusive, if someone came in with a MAGA hat, they would welcome them in? Or
I have a feeling they wouldn't. Something tells me they would not. But the tight grip of heteronormative thinking was, I'm like, this has nothing to do with Black lives or even saying that they matter. And that was way back in 2020, maybe even earlier than maybe 2019.
Somehow I think Black Lives Matter is going to try to revive itself. Somehow I feel like police brutality is going to be another issue that comes up.
I'm surprised it hasn't, but because Biden's in office, they really couldn't highlight anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though it still happened, but they weren't going to highlight it.
No, they never highlight that. Yeah. She was frat sisters with Patrisse Cullors and the other two. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were AKA. But they were open, like they openly said that they studied Marxism. I can't remember the other two. I only remember Patrisse Cullors. I don't remember the other chicks' names. I got videos about all that stuff, man. I got videos about them. But anyway.
So you got any more questions about education
No,
or
man.
the indoctrination of your kids in the classrooms?
No, I just want you guys to stop, man. Why do you guys have to do this to us?
See, when you say you guys,
you know what I'm saying.
That's like saying all y'all gonna put y'all in chains.
Yeah, gonna put y'all back in chains.
Put y'all back in chains.
God.
That dude was a jackass, boy. I swear.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Mm-mm.
But that's all I got, man. I'm gonna start dropping you guys links. It's 9:30. What time did I get on? Is it 3 hours? 2.5 hours? Yeah.
But hey, it was a fire live, man. Thanks for having me up. Hey,
No, thanks for coming up.
Salute to the chat. I'll be in the bushes.
Salute. G Will, Mel Dub, obviously. Beautiful one. Spare me your angst. Appreciate you. John Thompson. Thank you. Who else was in here? We had Phoenix Rising, of course. I always feel bad when I almost forget something. Even when I forget them, or even if I don't forget them and I remember them, I still feel bad. Like, oh yeah, he was definitely in here. Who else was in here? I already said Mel. Mike Levin, of course. Appreciate you as always. And welcome, Spare Me Your Angst. Appreciate you stopping in. Thank you very much. You were in here for a while, too. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much. G Will, of course. I think I already said G Will. I believe that is everyone. If I forgot you, I feel bad. I really do. Beautiful one. I appreciate you, of course, always supporting. And Taryn, of course, Taryn the Black. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Real Talk Nikki was in here. Who else? Think I got everybody now. Pretty sure I got everybody. I don't know. Did I see Amber C? She's usually in here. No, I think I got everybody. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much. Share. Hey, you guys, listen. I got a lot of subs today from dropping a short. I'm only like 50 away from 500. Oh, I'm only like so I'm up to 458. Trying to get to 500 so we can get monetized here. That would be so cool. It's something I never thought about. But now that we're getting closer, now it's like real. So I'm up to 458. Share. Suggest to liberals, please. I really want more liberals than David, because I don't think he's ever going to come back up here. He's really shaken up over Tuesday. David is so mad over Tuesday, and I'm not trolling him, but I'm tagging him on stuff that he's said that it's now been proven to be 100% false. But yeah. Spare me your angst. Yes. I'm not gonna go into that one yet. Not yet. But he's talking about the Divine Nine, Freemasonry, the Boule Society. Yes. I'm not trolling him, G Will. I mean, yes, you are. I'm messing with David because we all know, everyone here knows he said some outrageous things. But I would like some normal. I won't say normal. That sounds bad. Angela Davis. Nothing was better than watching Angela Davis find out she was white. I don't know if you guys ever saw that video where she found out. They did like a 23andMe, or they did some kind of ancestry check, and she found out on camera that she, I don't know, German or Irish, whatever it was phenomenal. He's not gonna watch. He is in such denial right now. He still thinks that Trump is going to do all the things that they said beforehand, and he's serious. He really thinks that he's going to be Hitler. Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that one? Oh, that was glorious. Like I wish I had that outro set up. That was so phenomenal, watching her find out that she was white. Miss Angela Davis, Miss Black Panther, Miss Fist herself. Oh, that was phenomenal. Let me start dropping you guys links. I got Real Talk Nikki. Everyone should subscribe to her. And please, please share this. And like I said, try to find a liberal or even conservative. I don't care. I'm just trying to get those last few followers because or subs. I did not think I would ever get this close. I was not expecting that. Mel Dub, obviously, the gentleman who was up here. Subscribe if you are not. Paste. Bam. I still think you sent David. He's no. I wish he was joking. Dude was serious as a heart attack. Dead serious. If you guys haven't seen, I clipped up that original time he came on. I have two more. One's gonna come out. Maybe I may put both of them out tomorrow. But from that first live that he showed up and everybody was, man, I kind of felt bad because they were yelling at him. KB came up and yelled at him. That was great. Biz 101 sharing very important info on cryptocurrency. People still don't get what that man is doing and how important what he's doing is. I don't understand the dismissal of the fastest growing asset in the history of the world. And people still don't get it. Beautiful one, especially right now. I watch people dismiss it like, I don't even care about that. I'm like, you don't care? Oh man, Mel Dub just got timed out. 5 minutes. I should be done by then. Miss Akimi, like and subscribe to her. Great content creator. She goes over very important issues. Very important. And she does her homework too. I really enjoy her lives. I always have to watch replays. Beautiful one just fell out because Bill got timed out. Damn DPOV, phenomenal. The best YouTuber in the game, and I am not exaggerating in any way. Vince, I'm gonna say my prayers for him because he's had some family stuff going on. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully everything is getting better. But he covers college sports and he covers the NFL right now. Phenomenal. Bolo, I saw Miss Beautiful One on Bolo. Didn't even tell anybody. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? So I had to go catch the replay. As always, phenomenal. And her phone wasn't cutting off like it used to. Hello? Can you hear me? The only people who understand that are the ones who saw her up. I think 2 other times she's been up. Hello? Can you hear me? Tara the Black, another one. He covers college sports, NFL. Great content creator, up and coming. He got his guy back. I thought they were like not going to be doing that show anymore, but they were doing it the other day. It was awesome. So that is Patriotic Porker. He does politics as well. Hello. Can you hear me? And Beautiful One, Miss Beautiful One, one of the biggest supporters that I've seen. Like I haven't seen. Yeah, she's amazing. She's even. I would even go so far as to say she is the channel sponsor. She is not just the stream sponsor. She's amazing. She always supports so many people. I mean, so many content creators she blesses, and it's great for everyone involved to have somebody like her. But if you want to really get to know her, check out her community wall. That is her channel. She puts some fire stuff up. Some of the stuff she can't even put titles on because they'll pull it down. So she's awesome. And if you really want to see some serious stuff, they're nice and short, to the point. Great community wall. Best community wall in the game. And let's see, G Will, who was in here also. Where's G Will? G Will has a small business, STG Designs, and this is the type of stuff. If you guys need any of these things, he's really good. Really good. STG Designs does custom apparel, t-shirts, embroidery, sublimation, tumblers, coffee mugs. I didn't do him dirty. He said something that he knows he's not supposed to say. But G will put your mug on a mug. He does great work. He's got, I mean, he's actually helped create a logo for me that I'm going to be implementing very soon. So much support. Great person. So if you need any of those things, high quality work, high quality material with the shirts, the sweatshirt is phenomenal. Let's see. This is how you get in touch with him. I need to leave our children alone. Hey, I'm telling you, Gw is the person. Get a hold of him on IG. Well, Beautiful One's another one. She's got no social media presence at all. There's been times where I wanted to send her stuff based on some of the posts that she wants to like back it up. And I'm like, oh, I can't get a hold of her. But you can get a hold of Gw, and yeah, he can help you. He's got an email too. Hold on. His email for people who are stuck in 1985 and don't have any social media. That is Gw.'s email to get a hold of him for that T-shirt. He can definitely hook it up. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. So please like, subscribe, share. That's inside. Nobody else is going to be laughing at that. I apologize. Like, subscribe, share. If you would like to bless the channel and provide a fresh wind, please do that. That would be amazing. Again, you guys hopefully are seeing what I'm putting this money into. I got a new flag in the back. I got lights. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 lights now, plus backlighting. Yeah, and my wife's got me working on some other stuff too. So how did he get back so fast? That was 5 minutes? Jeez. Hey, Mel, guess what? Sorry. You have to be a mod to even see what just happened. Who else do I got? Who else do I got? Let's see. Oh, I have my first like full live Rumble person in here today. So if you would like, subscribe to me on there. I go live on both platforms all the time. So Spare Me Your Angst is my first full live stream. I've had a lot of people pop in from Rumble, but I haven't had anyone like stay that long. So it's really cool to see that there's an audience over there that are just waiting. Like yeah, that's really cool to see. Really cool. If you are over there and you want to check my YouTube, this is my YouTube channel. So Spare Me Your Angst. If you're over here, check me out. If you would like to request a follow on Instagram, that's my IG, Mel. And if you want to follow me on X, this is my X. I appreciate everybody. Mel will not be able to make it back. Shout out to Mel. Please. I'm trying to get, that would be so amazing to get monetized because I've never thought about it, especially when I first started, because I had to contest pretty much, pull Mel up. I had to pretty much contest every video just to keep it up because I was ignorant to how to speak. So I wouldn't use the proper words when talking about certain communities. Especially the alphabet ones, I really had to contest a lot of it. So I'm like, there's no way. I've lost, and it's one thing losing subs, and you could tell when you lose subs on your own because you do something dumb. It's another thing losing subs and seeing a big, just mass chunk disappear, and it's like, all right, whatever. But anyway, with that said, I appreciate everybody. This song is I have played it before as an outro, but if you really listen to the words, this song is absolutely amazing. It's a song of contradictions, and it's phenomenal. So I want to go out with this song. And again, Miss Beautiful One, I appreciate you so much, stream sponsor. Let's see. CeeLo Green, song called Who Cares? Listen to the words, man. Phenomenal song.
Basically, I'm complicated. I have a hard time taking the easy way. But who cares? It's deep how you can be so shallow. And I'm afraid cause I have no fear. And I didn't believe in magic until I watched you disappear. I wish you were here. And I could go on and on and on. But who cares? You see, everybody is somebody, but nobody wants to be themselves. Ooh, and if I ever wanted to understand me, I have to talk to someone else, cause every little bit helps. And I could go on and on and on. But who cares? It feels like a surreal life, but it's still nice. Wish I could live twice, and I still might. If these wounds heal right, I see a little light, even though it's still night. It feels like a surreal life, but it's still nice. Wish I could live twice, and I still might. If these wounds heal right, I see a little light, even though it's still night. And I can go on and on and on. But who cares?